Hey YouTube, Casual Yugioh here, and today we're going to be doing your ban list wish list.
Yeah, I've got a couple things. I got a lot of hate. I got a lot of things I want to ban, and not very many things I want to unban. But
and just to make this clear, this is things that we want banned and things that we want to come off the list.
Yeah,
I got so much hate for my last video because people don't understand the concept of you can have things that you want banned or things you want to come back. But that doesn't mean that you're speaking from every Yu-Gi-Oh's perspective, player's perspective, saying these are the things that should be banned and things that should come back. It's just my opinion, but I don't think that I'm not.
And by the way, there are several cards mentioned in his ban list that are problematic and don't deserve to be in the game and should be fucking removed.
No, dude, there's nothing wrong with generic cards in your extract that you don't have to draw that do really busted. There's nothing wrong with that.
Listen, there's a couple of these cards that are just, they don't deserve to be in the fucking game. Please remove them.
What is card balance? What is that? What does that mean for something to be balanced? That doesn't matter.
Konami doesn't know.
If Konami prints a card, it's balanced. Like we know that. It's automatically balanced because they printed it.
Do not at me about this shit. It's my fucking opinion. Go fuck yourself.
What are opinions? What is
what is an opinion?
How could it be that someone has an opinion that's different from mine? How's that a thing?
I got a lot of flat sun theory. Earth is flat.
For real, before you start, I just want to say this point and try to drive it home one more time. You guys could have an opinion. Like I could watch someone else's ban list video, and they could say I want this card to ban, and I can go I disagree with that. Like if it's why MCO40 put out what's the real problem? I said links are the problem. They are generic. I didn't say that MCO40 was a retard because he wants this band or this band. If he's talking about synchro engines or whatever,
links are definitely a problem.
You can disagree with someone without having to insult their whole video and saying it's a complete waste of time. The video editing thing, people say I don't edit the videos.
Well,
do you guys really?
Don't, man.
No. It drives me crazy. Do we need a 15-second intro at the beginning of our video every time it's loud as hell?
Yeah, Ali G, man. Band.
I need some generic Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah, I need that at the beginning of my video for no reason whatsoever.
He walks to his chair, and then...
Yeah, and they act like it's such a big deal.
He walks up to turn the fucking thing off.
Pictures is the only thing we want to add in editing.
Sure, yeah, pictures. But we have a phone, and we're lazy.
Get over it. Well, it costs money to have a good laptop that can actually edit.
Yeah.
We're broke right now.
We're working on it.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead with your list.
Anyways, things that need to be banned. Some of these are a little bit outdated.
And you picked 3, right?
No, I picked a lot more than 3.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of things I hate. There's only 3 things. I'll start with the things I want to come off the ban list.
Okay.
And that's going to be Cyberjar, Tempest Magician, and Royal Oppression. And one of those is a little bit odd.
I agree with 2 out of 3.
Yeah, Cyberjar is pretty busted.
No, Cyberjar's fine. People that think Cyberjar would be a problem, you have to set it, so it would be like Morphing Jar.
It's slow. It would be popped 90% of the time.
It actually is probably worse than Morphing Jar, because Morphing Jar, that's actually a deck in itself. MP Jar is a deck. You can just switch Morphing Jar's battle position over and over again to mill your opponent.
Yeah. Oh, dude, in Ghost Tricks, it'd be insane.
Yeah, but Cyberjar just blow everything up. We have Regeki. We have all these other things that can board clear, Lightning Storm, whatever.
Yeah. It's not. It wouldn't be problematic, and it wouldn't be played in top meta decks.
I would try to play it in this rock deck.
Yeah.
It's a rock, technically, not a machine. Doesn't make any sense, but it's a rock.
Sure. It's not going to break anything. It's not going to break a meta. People are going to play it competitively. It's going to be used trollishly in casual games, and that's where I want it to be used.
Yeah, and if it was at 1, who cares?
Tempest Magician is one of my favorite cards. Spell counters are awesome, and they deserve to have a big end-all burn card, where it's remove all spell counters because you build up quite a few to burn. The FTK fuckers deserve to burn, and I hate them. Why did you get one of my favorite fucking cards ever banned?
More on Tempest Magician, let's talk about it. Burn cards that can burn a lot of damage in one, just one pop.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily a bad thing. Magical Explosion still.
It's a lot of setup, too.
Magical Explosion's a card. Magical Explosion says you have to have no cards in your hand. It's a trap card. You flip it over, and for every spell card in your graveyard, your opponent takes 200 points of damage. Yeah. While that's less damage, I'm just saying, can you throw Magic Explosion at anything? No. Can you throw Tempest Magician at anything? No. It's okay. It's
very specific,
right?
But it's also super strong in its specific things.
It is. It's very strong in its specific thing. So Tempest Magician was legal and fine for literally over 10 years, probably.
Yeah.
Okay. can we just hit, like you said, let's hit the problems that actually are the new stuff that makes it...
Let's hit the stuff that's making Tempest Magician, like,
consistent.
beyond busted.
And more consistent.
Yeah. Let's hit that stuff. Let's not take Tempest Magician because it's a fun card that deserves to be in the game.
And, like, when you were using your deck on the game and I was watching you, you could use your final flash deck where you could do that shit ton of damage. Correct me if I'm wrong, you never got it in your first couple turns. It was something you built up over time. You just had enough control over the board where you're like...
I could get it in like 5-6 turns.
But you had enough control over the board where you're like, okay, I'm good. Like
at a certain point, I had so much control that I would literally just sit on it until I could do like 40,000 damage to somebody. Because it's funny to me. That's funny to me. But... good artwork, good card, fun.
And a cool it's another win condition that you can have in that deck.
You have to build up a resource to use it. You're stocking ammunition. It's so cool as a concept.
Yeah. And the pendulum structure deck ruined it for you.
It's so stupid.
Yeah.
Alright. I hate it. And Royal Oppression is just, I mean, it's a trap card that I feel like it doesn't deserve to be banned.
This is where I disagree with you. Royal Oppression to me is going to be like Vandy's Emptiness all over again, except it's, in my opinion, it will probably be worse. While although the life point thing is cool, the 800 per every time, because technically you could run out of life points where you couldn't negate a special summon.
And I mean, at a certain point, you're going to be like, oh, I'll stop this special, I'll stop that one, I'll stop that one, I'll stop that one. Things have effects when they go to the graveyard. You can play around this type of card. Not everybody's going to be playing something like this.
But realistically, what would end up happening is that for a person goes first, does all their summons, just like Vandy's Emptiness, sets Royal Oppression, other person goes, they flip over Royal Oppression and say, sorry, bud, you can't special summon. And even if someone had like a junk doppel deck where they're constantly special summoning, that's still, you're going to be able to negate all that. I mean, they're not going to be able to do their combo if you're just stopping every time they want to do a special summon.
Yeah, so. And I mean, you can have MST, any generic pop card, and you're through.
But here's my thing. You can't always, just because a card has an out, this is my problem when people say, like, hand traps, which we'll get to.
I get it.
Yeah. You can't always say, well, just because Call by the Grave exists means that, like, your hand trap should be allowed to be at 3. No.
Very fair.
Because if I'm going against a player, and they're playing any deck, and I'm like, cool, my turn, they're like, Royal Oppression. You're telling me if I didn't draw that one out, if I didn't draw the pop to that thing, I just can't play the game.
By the way, I'm not saying, like, completely come off the list. Maybe a one of.
Well, I'm saying, okay, one, you could try it because of the fact it's continuous. I don't think there's any easy way to search it. So maybe try it at 1. Do I think it should come back? No. But if you tried it at 1, I wouldn't hate everyone. Because Emptiness, I think that card was running at 3, and I think maybe they tried to limit it to 1, and still it was the like, oh, I drew it, I win the game, basically. And
also, it's an option. You don't have to negate every time.
If you ban, or if you let that card back, you have to ban Saryuja, because people will do the Saryuja I drew into it.
Definitely. Don't let fucking Saryuja stay in the goddamn game.
Saryuja just lets you restack your hand so people are going to be like, cool, oh, I drew into it.
It's a very lame card. Okay, let's go to my ban shit, because Saryuja Skuldread is on the fucking list. Boral Sword Dragon, you were right about that.
No, dude, apparently I'm wrong, dude. Just because...
No, shut the fuck up. You know Boral Sword deserves to be banned. You know it's a problem.
What kills me is when people go like, well, it's not like it's seeing a ton of meta play.
It's in every extra
Just
deck.
Because someone doesn't play it all the time doesn't mean that it shouldn't, like... The problem is, anytime that opportunity would present itself, because it's generic, people just go like, oh, cool, I have enough monsters to make Boral Sword, cool.
It's the best extra deck monster. Everybody plays it because, oh, I could just win right now. The Boral Sword. It's a problem.
Like, what I would tell everyone is, imagine if Trishula didn't say, you know, add up the levels to 9 and take 3 monsters to make. Imagine if Trishula just said, anytime that you have 3 monsters, get me out. Like, imagine Trishula's effect was a Link 3.
It just banished something from somebody's hand, field, and graveyard?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, because that wouldn't get busted.
No. Weird. Predapant, Verta, Anaconda, you shouldn't be able to just have any fusion card. Fusion cards shouldn't be searchable. Period. There's a bunch of them that are.
Here's my theory on that. I think that they should make a new insignia for spell cards called Fusion. And I think, because they have too many cards now where it says, like, search a fusion card, and it'll say, search a card that says fusion or polymerization in its title.
Yeah.
Just change that to where, like, Now it'll
give it a little swirl.
Yeah, give it a swirl, and now it's a fusion card. Do that.
I'm into it.
Yeah, and like you have to change some old school stuff, but overall, I think that would be better for the game, and that way, yeah, you can restrict things like that. But as far as like Verde Anaconda, you're right. You shouldn't, because like I said in my rant, I believe I said it. Red Eyes Dragoon, they're like, oh, that's the real problem.
Dude, is it?
The next fusion monster that's going to come out that's going to be really good, they're going to do that as well.
But you don't have just that one. You can any fusion card.
Rainbow Neos right now. Rainbow Neos is a really great card, always has been. But the fact that you can search Neos fusion off of your Predaplant Verde Anaconda.
Super Poly. These are problem cards, and you're just making it easier by having Anaconda be a card. Sure, after you use this effect, it's the last summon you can do. Whoop-de-fucking-do, you get a whole turn before that, man.
And I've heard some people say, and I can kind of agree with them on this, even though I hate links, if Predaplant Verde Anaconda had said, take 2 Predaplant monsters, link, you make this, and then you do it, that at least says you have to play the Predaplant engine in your deck, you have to play that combo. Like, that's more
a little bit of cost. That makes it specific.
A setup.
Like
It's just a little bit of a setup. That you could negate Ash, whatever. You could do all that, whatever. The fact that Predaplant Verde Anaconda is, people try to say, oh, it has restrictions. Its restriction is just, my effect to basically fuse from your deck, like you get the fusion from your deck. All that has to be is the last special summon that you do. That's it. You can do everything else.
Kriston Halqifibrax.
Needle Fiber, whatever. Yeah.
Whatever. Also ban that. Don't summon shit from the deck on generic bullshit. That should be like a spell card that you have to draw.
Yeah, because now people are looking at Jet Synchron, which I play in Dinosaurs, and they're saying ban that. So my Dinosaur deck has to be banned, has to get hit again, because Global I was playing in that and Sylvan's. I have to lose that just because of this generic link bullshit of any tuner plus any monster that you want equals Neofiber equals any level 3 or lower monster from your deck equals a Synchro Tuner from your extra deck that you can get out on your opponent's turn. I have a huge problem with all of that.
There's a lot of these cards where it's like, oh, well, because this card was made, we now have to go back and ban cards that already existed because they're a problem now. That's not the problem. Don't make this shit.
Someone commented in one of the videos I saw, and it was like, Jet Synchron. It's like, which card's busted? They're like, let's see. Jet Synchron was out since like 2010. Halqifibrax has been out for a couple months. Which card is the reason why this is busted? I don't know.
Have some sense, man. This card's been out for years, and you're saying, oh, it's a problem now? That's not the problem.
Yeah, Jet Synchron is a good card that, like I said, I use it in Dinosaurs because I sync into Excel Synchron, and then I dump it, and then I use its effect to special back out, and it gives me more Synchro plays like it was designed to be played. That's the whole point of how it was designed. The fact that you can just take any tuner and be like, cool, now I can just get out and eat it. Genericness literally ruins the game. Like, this is the problem with links, is it literally ruins the game because I literally watch every Mega Capital G video. It was like, well, he goes into Needle Fiber right here. It's like, what a surprise. It's like everyone's doing it. Yeah, every deck's doing it.
It's like having Nightmare Goblin in your deck. Why did that card get banned?
Because everyone loves an additional normal summon, and when it's generic, who knew?
Fucking weird. Why did fucking Brilliant Fusion get banned?
Because everyone could just splash that in. But even Brilliant Fusion had to run certain things in the main deck.
Yeah, did it?
And you had to draw the Brilliant Fusion.
Yeah, so Nightmare Goblin was just Brilliant Fusion, but way fucking better.
Because it's just sitting in your extra deck the whole time.
It's weird how these things work. It's weird how problem cards become problem cards the moment people read them. It's
weird how links have only been around since fall of 2017, and there's 8 link monsters that are banned already. In 3 years, 8 of them have already been banned.
Listen.
Problem? No.
Who are the writers for these fucking cards? Because you have an issue that you just keep, whoops.
Well, the problem,
don't make that
the
again.
problem is the people that thought that mechanic was going to be acceptable.
The mechanic could be acceptable if the fucking writers for the cards weren't retards.
Yeah, but you'd constantly have to restrict everything from that.
Sorry to say retards. Also, those are the problem cards that definitely should be banned. Don't at me. But now we're going to get into like a little bit of personal feeling for me. And I'm going to speed these out real quick. Cyber Dragon Infinity, ban it. True King of All Calamities, ban it. Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, ban it. And limit all hand traps to 1. If it says you can play it from your hand, limit it to one.
Let's
Trap card, the Ash Blossom, all that shit, limit it to one straight off the printing press.
Okay.
I don't care.
Let's do the hand trap thing first. Yes, I agree with you. Infinite Impermanence should be a one of. You should not be able to just play 3 of that and 3 of Ash Blossom in your deck.
Yes.
And be like, cool, anytime my opponent tries to do anything on their turn, I'll just stop them. Fuck that. So Impermanence at 1, Ash Blossom at 1, because every deck profile is playing 3. Here's the thing, guys, of people that I guess have just gotten into this game recently that don't understand what balance is or what distinguishes a card as being busted. If every deck plays a card at 3 that has nothing to do with the archetype, that card needs to get hit.
Thank you very much.
That card needs to get hit.
If you can play it in anything, and everybody is, that card shouldn't be in the game.
Yeah, because
that's why Upstart was banned.
If me and Jesse are dueling, not against each other, but say that we're in a tournament, me and Jesse shouldn't have to go every single time I'm about to make a move. I go like, they're probably going to ash me.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to worry about that. Every deck is going to do that. Every deck.
He's got an ash. I've got an ash. The person over there has an ash. That person has an ash. Everybody's running ash at 3. Stop.
That's like, okay, so like, let's say they made a card that just says cut your opponent's life points in half, requires no setup. Just says like, your opponent now has half their life points.
Would you not play that card?
That's what I'm saying. You open first turn, your opponent now has 4,000 life points. The argument of, well, that card could be negated or that card, your opponent could also use it, is not a valid reason for why that card needs to be around.
Yeah. Everybody has access to this. That's cool, but everybody has access to that, and they're all using it. Every deck, everything.
Yeah.
I mean, this is why we don't play in the meta scene. This is why we're casual Yu-Gi-Oh!
Because it's boring as fuck.
It's stagnant. It's all the same thing.
Yeah, everyone's just playing the same thing. They're like, you barely ever see any spicy text. They're like, ooh, that was actually cool.
There's no variety anymore. Everybody plays what's best or a variant on it or something to counter it.
And what does that prove? If you're the one that wins, what does that prove? In order to be what I consider like a good player, I'll have to have seen that you have topped like so many times where I'm like, dude, no matter what deck you're using, you find a way to top whatever, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I give you respect. If you've done it
the first thing I'm gonna think is that dude knows how to stack his fucking cards.
No, I'm not gonna think that.
I will.
There's some dudes that find a way to like distinguish themselves among everybody else when we're all playing the same format, or whatever. Then I'll be like, I'll give you some shine. But the people who are like, I have to play this deck to prove what? You win because what? Like, you're using a deck that everyone else is using.
Just have something that means something to you. Go into something being like, yeah, this is my card. If Boral Sword is your card, then fuck, dude. That's some boring shit.
To quote Kasame from Yu-Gi-Oh! Underground, he said this like a couple years ago in his videos, and I think this is really true. I would rather try and lose with something I care about than win with something I could give two shits about.
Yeah.
I don't care about like, oh my gosh, like Adamantium are fine, I guess. That's not the example, but like when Sky Strikers were popping, when Zodiacs were popping, you can Salamangreats, I don't know, like you can pick anything. What's the Orchest? Any of those. And you're like, oh, this is what's hot right now. I would much rather pick up like Cloudians if I was a Clouding player and be like, I'll try this. As opposed to being like...
Could you imagine going into a game with... playing against somebody that had Cloudians? Your mind would fucking melt. You'd stop thinking because you'd be like, I don't know what these are. Yeah. I didn't know these existed. The game would be so much fun if somebody could bring something in and you'd be surprised. It's like, oh, is this person playing one of the 3 decks? Obviously, he wants to win.
Yeah, and that's the problem is like in today's metagame, it's like... You barely ever see a deck profile where someone's like, yeah, I just brought this in randomly and did good. Most of the time, the only decks that are kind of on there's an inner bubble of meta, what people, call like tier 1. There's like the tier 1.5, tier 2, which are the outer ring, which is like, you'll see them pop up in like, hey, they did a top 32 or a top 16 or whatever, but you're not surprised to see those. You're like, oh yeah, you're still around. Yeah, that's right.
The game gets boring when everyone wants to play the same thing. Anyways, back to the hand traps limiting. It goes beyond everybody's playing these at 3. It goes beyond even that. Because, like, at a certain point, it's just... Stop fucking interrupting the game. Play the game. Stop trying to stop your opponent from playing the game. The game shouldn't be about, like, 1 or 2 things going off in your hand and then just sitting on shit to stop your opponent from having fun. build a deck that does something. Have some sort of rock, paper, scissor alignment where it's like, oh, this counters me, but I can have a way around it in my deck.
The problem with hand traps, or what I would consider like any card that can just like basically like I'll stop one of their cards. The problem with that is any deck that only requires 1 to 2 cards as a setup, you automatically be like, well, what would I want my other 3 cards to be? Well, I'll just have them stop my opponent. You win the game. Like, why was Evil Storm so successful? Because you'd be like, Rabbit, cool, 2 normal monsters, I can make Ophion. Everything else could be back row. And that's why you win, is because your other research is dedicated just to screwing over your opponent. I understand that deck is more of a slower deck, so like that's one thing, but I'm just saying like, now that's like every person's opinion is like, well, I only need this 1 card to get off my combo, or these 2 cards to get off my combo. They're really easy, I can search them easy as fuck. And then everything else is all link plays, and everything else can be whatever I want.
You can just chill out like fucking 8 goddamn monsters onto your fucking field at the same time. And I know there's only 6 fucking slots, but fuck, man. If you can't have like 6 monsters on the field, 2 back row, and 3 things in your fucking hand on turn 1, it's so unnecessary. You're sitting on like 6 negates. Just play the game. And that's why, again, I have Cyber Dragon Infinity, True King of All Calamities, and Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon on my list. Stop making things that are super strong that can negate.
Okay, let's go down each of those, because we talked about the hand traps. Infinity. Yeah. I don't want Infinity to be banned, and because limiting it would probably do no purpose, I am fine with keeping it as it is. Because, Jesse, to be honest, no one really plays Infinity much anymore. You'll have Cyber Dragons play it.
It's too generic. If only Cyber Dragons could... Because people can play it in things that... Just Galaxy Soldiers. 2 Galaxy Soldiers and you have it in any deck.
So what they should have done is change Nova, instead of saying 2 level 5 machines, just say 2 level 5... Or just say Cyber Dragons. 2 level 5 Cyber Dragon monsters or whatever.
Make it more specific with a card that strong.
But even then, Jesse, Infinity, I don't think it's as strong as you claim it is. It's a really good card. Dude, I'm being honest with you. Infinity doesn't just sit there and win me a game. It can help.
Yeah, it's just it's too.
I know you don't like it.
Strong. Like cards that can negate should have high defense, but like no fucking offense. It's a problem in the fucking game. You said on Crystal Wing, can't attack over it. Effects get negated.
Well, okay, Infinity, I like his effects. So, like, I would say...
You can attack over Infinity, it's fine. If you've got, like, a set limiter removal or something like that, spicy pack.
So let's put Infinity aside. I disagree with you, but that's one thing. Crystal Wing. Let's talk about Crystal Wing. I agree with you in the fact that, like, he has too much. I like his... takes a tuner, non-tuner synchro. I like his setup. Still has
so much.
No, but I'm saying, like, too many effects. I can't be killed, like... You want to do the monster effect negate thing or whatever? Fine. I'm okay with that. That once per turn operator's turn negate a monster effect. That's fine. But the fact that you can just... They merged his effect with Clear Wings, so he could be like, any level 5 or higher thing, I just automatically run over. I don't care for that. I just don't.
I understand he's like a further evolution of Clear Wing.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Like, I agree with you. You know it when you see it. You can see a boss monster go like, you're good, but you're not broken. You're a little bit balanced. And Crystal Wing, it's like, unless you're hitting it with an XYZ or a Link, there's nothing you can do against it. You're like, well, I'm gonna lose.
Yeah. It's just an issue. It's like, I don't want to play against that. I don't want to play it because it's stupid. I don't want to win like that. It's a very stupid card.
I like his artwork, and I like what it takes to make him, not the Wind Witches. The Wind Witches are something separate. But I'm saying, like,
god damn the Wind Witches, man.
But besides the Wind Witches, I do like what it takes to make them. I think that's a good enough requirement. Synchro, non-tuner, and just sync those up together. But, yeah, I just think he's too strong. And to be honest, like, I like getting him out, but at the same time, I don't like getting him out because I'm like, I never feel great if I win with him. So, anyway. Okay, and then lastly...
True King of All Calamities.
True King of All Calamities, I agree with. That's the one where, like, Crystal Wing, I could see your argument, but I don't think it should be banned. Infinity, I disagree with you completely, but True King, I do think should be banned.
Also, I guess this isn't ban, but, like, stop making shit that's too generic. Link monsters shouldn't be able to use tokens. Fucking, honestly, I feel like synchro monsters shouldn't be able to use tokens either. Stop saying effect monsters. At least throw an attribute or a fucking monster type in there instead of saying effect monsters. Make it somewhat somewhat restrictive. Because just being able to use anything is causing problems.
No way. Dude, how dare you have that opinion? You just don't understand what's going on in the game. I can't even say it with a straight face.
It's just make it a little bit. It's weird because I want like generic support for the game, just not this stuff. Because what they have right now is ridiculous. I want like generic stuff, but like generic on a different level than effect monster.
Well, with links, like that's the thing. I got hate in my video because I said I hate links, and people are like, you're just an idiot. You don't know how to play the game. You're a scrub. Whatever.
I don't.
People call links.
Hate links.
Us link haters that are on the internet. I've seen this many times, and I agree with it. Links is synchros for scrubs. People that don't know how to count levels and don't like tuner. What's that? I need a specific type of monster to make this play happen. People are like, oh man, that's too complicated. Actually, I'll just take any of these two things, and I'll just.
Links really are just dumbed down synchros. I've never even thought about that.
That's exactly what it is. It's dumbed down synchros. Because anytime, this is what I've said many times, anytime you could make a synchro monster, you can make a link. Anytime you could make an XYZ monster, you can make a link. That's a problem. It's a problem when a mechanic automatically just tells the other two, I'm more generic than you, so like, yeah, they could play me, but why would they?
But with an XYZ monster, the monsters go underneath the XYZ, so they don't go to the graveyard, so you can't just summon them again off the XYZ monster.
True.
Effect.
You have to use the XYZ monster effect first if you want them in the graveyard. Yeah.
Well, you have to have a valid target in the graveyard first, don't you? Or can you literally just send it to the graveyard to target it?
I don't know what are you talking about?
Like, say there's nothing in your graveyard and you summon an XYZ, can you detach then summon the thing you detached? Or do you have to already have a valid target in the graveyard?
You have to have the valid target in your graveyard.
Okay, so, well, I mean, you wouldn't be able to do that.
Well, I don't even know what you're referencing. I don't know what card you're referencing.
Well, I don't know.
Like, are you asking if you had Call the Haunted, could you just activate Call the Haunted without detaching first? Is that what you're asking?
Well, no, I'm talking about, like, melee of the trees. If you just, like, detach summon a plant from your graveyard, but you don't have anything in your graveyard.
No, you have to have the monster in your graveyard first.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Stuff like that. But you'd be able to do that with the Link monster.
Is that okay? I want to go a little bit longer on True King of all Calamities. The reason why I think that card should be banned is because it's a rank 9 that basically just says you win the game.
Yeah.
And I don't think that should be a thing.
It's just not fun.
It's not fun, and it's not hard to get out. Like rank 9s are actually not that hard to get out. Yeah. And if you want it, like that's the thing. If you want to get them out bad enough, you will. You'll find a way. You'll get them out. And a card that just says flat out all your monster effects are not going to happen this turn is not cool. And they can't attack as well. Monsters with that attribute that you declare can't attack.
Yeah, and everything's gonna be that attribute because that's what the effect does. That's fucking lame, dude.
Yeah.
Let me play the game.
Yeah. I don't find a person that's ever had an enjoyable experience going against True King of all Calamities. I don't know if you'll find one.
I think I've only ever summoned it once. It was in a deck you made, and I was like, that was fucking lame.
Sylvan's, probably?
I played it once, and I was like, man, that was fucking lame. I'm never gonna do that again. It just like...
Cards, yeah, cards that just say flat out I'm gonna negate everything.
Just like play the game.
Yeah, because other thing is like Nat Beast. Nat Beast is a bitch of a card. You know, if you have to go up against it, you're like, oh, you're shutting off all my spells. But there's plenty of decks where like monster effects can still get you through. It only has 2200. That's good, but it's not like I can't get over that. 3000 is pretty like up there.
And I don't have a problem with like control or stall or anything like that.
Like you said,
those are some fun archetypes to play.
Don't be having 3000 attack telling me I can't play the game at all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like that's too much attack. Like I'm not gonna be able to summon something that can get over that.
True King of all Calamities should be like 3 level 9 monsters. That would make a lot more sense.
For that effect, it should be like fucking 5.
I'm not saying that.
I am.
Fuck it. He's not a Rongo Bongo. Rongo Myongod or whatever, that guy. That was just like, I literally am a god. Like, if I have 5 materials, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't even kaiju them, because it was like, no, you can't special them, so that card was ridiculous. But anyway, so that was your rant. Basically, trim the hand traps down, because that's stupid. And they already limited Red Reboot, and in my opinion, Infinite Impermanence needs to go to 1, Ash Blossom needs to go to 1. And I bet you there'll be people to comment and say, you're stupid, you don't know what you're talking about, how could you hit those cards? If everyone's running it, it needs to get hit.
Yeah.
Red Reboot got limited to 1 because everyone was throwing it in their side deck, and even though I'm a casual player, I'm still aware.
Everybody has access to it, so it's fair. If everybody's busted, nobody is. Shut the fuck up. Oh my god.
That's the thing is I think when people call me a casual, which I am, I
Just
admit
make the game fun, man.
Well,
We just want to have fun.
that's what the game should be. But when people call you a casual and they go like, "Well, you're an idiot. You don't know anything about this game." Actually, I'm probably more intelligent than you about this game because I've been playing it since 2002 when it came out to the U.S. So I do think I know more because I've been through these up and downs where like, dude, just because something comes out and it's busted, I don't immediately go like, "Oh, I'm gonna bitch" or whatever. Like, shit happens.
I mean, you've even participated at the meta a couple of times.
Sometimes my decks were the meta. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I understand. I'm saying like, this shit has ebbs and flows, and it's not my first rodeo.
It's a fucking ebb right now, my dude.
Yeah, we all understand that like stuff comes out, it's really powerful. They wait a while, then they hit it, and then new archetype comes out, and that's okay. That's how it should be. My problem is when it's a whole mechanic that replaces everything else and says I'm easier than everything else. So why would you ever get that out? It's in your extra deck. You don't have to draw it. That ruins the whole thing for me. Everything else before Lynx, it was like, well, you at least had to draw this, whatever. And if something was too easy to get out, they did ban it. If something was too easy in the extra deck, they banned it.
Oh, and by the way, he cares about your comments. I don't. Do not at me. I won't even read your bullshit. Take it all and stuff it right up your asshole. Right up there. I don't care. The game isn't fun right now. And if you're like, oh, well, if it's not fun for you, it's fun for other people. Nobody's having fun sitting on True King of All Calamities. Sitting there being like, can't do shit, can you? Nobody can. It's True King of All Calamities. Suck a dick.
Okay. All right, I think we're done. Yeah, have a good one.